If you are enrolled in IGNOU MSCCC, the Master of Science in Climate Change, then MEVP-033 is the one course that decides whether you finish this degree on time. This is the complete guide to the IGNOU MSCCC project for MEVP-033, from choosing a topic all the way to defending it at your Viva-Voce. Let us answer the main question first. MEVP-033 project work is the compulsory research project of the IGNOU MSCCC program. On the official course structure, it carries 8 credits, and it sits in the second year. You research one real climate change problem, you write a supervised report, and you defend that report in a Viva-Voce. Here is MEVP-033 at a glance. Program, M.Sc. School, SOITS. Credits, 8. Placement Year 2. Mode, open and distance learning. Medium, English. And the program itself runs to 80 credits in total. 2 gates stand between you and your marks. Supervisor approval first and evaluation second. In this IGNOU MSCCC project guide, we will cover exactly where MEVP-033 sits in the course structure and why it belongs to Year 2, the course code traps that get proposals rejected, and then the full cycle, topic, supervisor, synopsis, report, submission, viva, and result. Everything here is built on the official IGNOU course structure. First, the program behind the project. MSCCC is a 2-year, 80-credit postgraduate degree delivered in open and distance learning mode by the School of Interdisciplinary and Transdisciplinary Studies, known as SOITS. It brings climate science together with policy, governance, law, economics, and sector impacts. Water, energy, agriculture, disaster risk, and the circular economy. It is a multidisciplinary degree, and MEVP-033 is where you prove you can use it. The program facts you should know. The school is SOITS. Minimum duration 2 years, maximum 4. Medium of instruction is English. Eligibility is graduation in any discipline. The program fee is 8,000 rupees per year, with the registration fee and the development fee charged in addition. Total credits, 80. Now, one detail that changes how you should approach this project. IGNOU introduced MSCCC in the July 2026 session and described it as the first dedicated postgraduate climate change degree offered by an open university in India. That newness is exactly why so much of the advice circulating online about this course code is guesswork rather than guidance. Section 2, where MEVP-033 sits inside the 80 credits. Year 1 is 40 credits, and every single course is theory. MEV-021, Introduction to Climate Change. MEV-022, Impacts of Climate Change. MEV-023, Mitigation and Adaptation. MEV-024, Climate Change Assessment Tools. MSD-019, Global Strategies to Sustainable Development. Then MEV-025 on Society. MEV-026 on Water. MEV-027 on Energy. MEV-028 on Agriculture. And MEV-029 on Disaster Risk Reduction. Year 2 changes character completely. MEV-017, Environmental Legislations. MEV-019, Research Methodology for Environmental Science. MEV-030, Climate Change, Waste Management and Circular Economy. MEV-031, Climate Change and Governance. Then MEV-L032, the Climate Change Lab course at 8 credits. And MEVP-033 project work, also at 8 credits. On top of that core, you choose any 2 optional courses from a basket of 5. MEVE-019, Environmental Issues. MEVE-014, Biodiversity Conservation and Management. MEV-014, Sustainable Natural Resource Management. MIO-001, Introduction to Smart Regions, covering smart cities and smart villages. And MCS-224, Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning. Any two of those, 8 credits. So the arithmetic is simple. 40 credits in Year 1, 32 credits of Year 2 core, 8 credits from your 2 optional courses, 80 credits in total, and MEVP-033 alone is 8 of those 80, which means 1 full 10th of your master's degree sits inside a single project. Which brings us to the first myth bust. Plenty of pages copy a 4-credit figure across from other IGNOU projects. On the official M.Sc.CC course structure, MEVP-033 carries 8 credits, double any theory course in the program, and tied with the lab course as the heaviest single component. Plan the workload for 8 credits, not for 4. The second trap sits right next to it in the course list. MEVL-032 is a lab course. Structured practical exercises set by the school, which you follow. MEVP-033 is project work. Your own research question, your own design, a supervisor, an approved proposal, a written report, and a Viva-Voce. Same credits, completely different work, and both are compulsory. There is a wider code trap across IGNOU environment programs too. MEVP-033 belongs to M.Sc.CC. MEVP-01. 1 is the M.Sc Project in environmental science. MEVP-012 belongs to MAEVS, environmental studies. MEVP-001 belongs to the environmental and occupational health programs. And everything from MEV-021 to MEV-031 is theory, despite carrying the same MEV prefix. Now Mythbust 2, and this one matters for planning. M.Sc.CC has an exit option. Complete the 40 credits of Year 1, and you may take the postgraduate diploma in climate change instead. Every one of those Year 1 courses is theory. MEVP-033 lives entirely in Year 2. So a diploma exit means no project at all. That gives you a ladder of 3 entry points into climate change at IGNOU. PGCCC, the postgraduate certificate, built around MEV-021 to MEV-025. PGDCCC, the postgraduate diploma, which is also offered as a standalone program, and M.Sc.CC, the full 80-credit master's degree, which is the only route that includes MEVP-033. Mythbust 3, and please take this one seriously. M.Sc.CC opened in the July 2026 session. At the time of recording, no long-circulated MEVP-033 project handbook or approved sample report is publicly available the way MEVP-011 material is. So treat every advertised MEVP-033 approved sample with suspicion. Completely identical proposals and reports are rejected outright. What you do have is better than a sample. IGNOU placed MEV-019, Research Methodology for Environmental Science, in the same year too as MEVP-033. That is deliberate. Objectives, sampling, questionnaire design, data analysis, and referencing all come from that course. Study MEV-019 before you write your synopsis, not after your proposal comes back rejected. Section 3. The MEVP-033 Lifecycle. 9 stages in order. Finish enough coursework to have a real base. Read MEV-019 and the guidelines issued for your program. Narrow a climate problem into one researchable question. Find and confirm an eligible supervisor. Write the synopsis and get it signed. Submit the proposal package and wait for written approval. only then collect your data. Write, format, and upload the report. Then attend the Viva-Voce. Stage 6 deserves its own slide because it is the most expensive mistake in any IGNOU project. If the school asks you to change your objectives, your sample, or your method, every survey you already ran becomes waste paper. Approve proposal first, fieldwork second, never the other way round. Your final report must match the proposal that was approved. A realistic MEVP-033 timeline looks like this. Weeks 1 to 3, read and narrow. MEV-019 plus your sector courses, and shortlist 3 questions. Weeks 3 to 5, lock the supervisor and collect the signed bio data. Weeks 5 to 8, write and submit the synopsis package. Weeks 8 to 14, the approval window. Then months 4 to 6 for data, analysis, writing and upload. IGNOU runs January and July sessions, and project deadlines follow that rhythm. The proposal well ahead of the session, and the report before the term-end examination slot. Dates move, and they are extended more often than you would expect. Confirm every current date on ignou.ac.in and with your own regional center. Section 4. Choosing a topic that actually gets approved. 5 tests. 1. It names a climate link. Not just environment, the climate mechanism has to be explicit. 2. It fits one place and one period. 3. You can actually get the data. 4. It maps to a course you have studied. And 5. One person can finish it in a few months in open and distance learning mode with no laboratory and no research grant. 10 theme areas fit MEVP-033 naturally. Water security, energy transition, agriculture, disaster risk reduction and early warning, waste management and the circular economy, public health, urban heat and the built environment, climate governance, policy and legislation, community perception, behavior and adaptation, and carbon footprint and assessment tools. To keep every idea concrete, this whole guide follows one worked example. Heat stress exposure and adaptation practices among outdoor street vendors during summer heat waves in Nagpur city. It is climate-linked, it is local, it is survey-based, and any graduate can carry it out without a laboratory or a research budget. Watch how a vague idea becomes that title. Climate change in India. No boundary, no data, no method. Heat waves and health. Whose health measured how? Heat stress among outdoor workers. Which workers and which city? Then the research question. How do street vendors in Nagpur experience and cope with heat waves? And finally the title, carrying population, exposure, behavior, place and period in one line. 3 traps cost students marks here. The library essay, which is a summary of IPCC reports with no primary data of your own. The global topic, where global carbon market sounds impressive and simply cannot be researched alone. And the lab fantasy, where you promise emission measurement you have no instrument or permission to carry out. And here is a reassurance, because this worries people. M.Sc.CC eligibility is graduation in any discipline. That is a design choice, and it shapes MEVP-033. Structured questionnaires, interviews, secondary datasets, policy document analysis, and simple descriptive statistics all make strong projects. Rigor is judged by method, not by equipment. Section 5. Your project supervisor. Across IGNOU environment programs, an acceptable supervisor is typically faculty of the school running the program, an academic counselor of that program with relevant expertise, someone holding a doctorate in environmental science or a closely related discipline, or someone with a master's or doctorate in a related field, plus research or teaching experience. Confirm the exact wording in your MEVP-033 guidelines. Now the rule that quietly rejects more proposals than any other. The proposal pro forma states that if the complete and signed biodata of the supervisor is not enclosed, even when the proposed supervisor is already an academic counselor of the program, the proposal will not be entertained, not delayed, not queried, not entertained. Be clear about the role. Your supervisor shapes your objectives, approves your method, and signs the proposal and the certificate. Your supervisor does not write your report, does not collect your data, and cannot guarantee an approval. And you never pay your supervisor. The university pays supervisor remuneration. If your supervisor is not accepted, or you change supervisor for any reason, you resubmit on a fresh proposal pro forma with the new supervisor's signature and biodata. The school treats that as a new submission, not an amendment, which means the approval clock starts again. So confirm availability for the Viva period before you finalize anyone. Section 6. The IGNOU MSCCC Synopsis package. 3 pieces travel together. The proposal pro forma, filled and signed by you and by your supervisor. The synopsis itself typed and signed. And the supervisor's biodata, complete and signed. That third piece is the one that most often goes missing. Inside an IGNOU MSCCC synopsis, the title precisely worded. Introduction and background. Rationale, meaning why this problem and why now. A review of relevant literature. The statement of the problem. Objectives, stated as 3 to 5 testable aims. Research methodology and design. Study area, sample and sampling technique. Tools of data collection and your analysis plan. Then expected outcome, limitations and references. Here is a routing mistake students make every single year. In IGNOU environment programs, the proposal package goes to the program coordinator or study center named in your guidelines for approval. The final report is what goes to the Student Evaluation Division and the online project submission portal. Never upload a synopsis to the project portal. You should receive a written decision on your proposal. If it is rejected, you will normally get comments explaining what to fix. And it is usually vague objectives, an unrealistic sample, or a method that cannot answer the question you asked. Revise and resubmit. A rejection is a correction, not a failure. Section 7. The MEVP-033 Project Report. The preliminary pages come in a fixed order. Title page carrying program, course code and enrollment number. Certificate of originality signed by you. Certificate from your supervisor confirming guidance. A copy of the approved proposal pro forma, if your guidelines ask for it. Acknowledgements, table of contents, lists of tables and figures, and then the abstract. Then 5 chapters. Chapter 1. Introduction. Context, rationale, problem statement, objectives and scope. Chapter 2. Review of literature, what is already known and the gap you are filling. Chapter 3. Methodology. Chapter 4. Results and discussion. Chapter 5. Conclusion. Findings against each objective, recommendations and scope for further work. Chapter 4 deserves a warning. In the evaluation scheme used for IGNOU, environment projects, results and discussion carries the largest single block of report marks. Yet it is the chapter students rush. Every table needs a number, a title, and a sentence saying what it means. Data without interpretation earns almost nothing. On presentation, a 4-paper printed on one side, a readable serif body font, consistent line spacing, numbered pages and numbered tables and figures. 1 bound copy plus the PDF is the usual expectation. Follow the exact format in the guidelines issued to you for MEVP-033, rather than a format copied from another program. Cite every dataset, policy document, report, and paper you used in one consistent style, and list them in a single reference section. IGNOU rejects completely identical proposals and reports outright. So paraphrase, cite, and keep your raw questionnaires and permission letters in the annexures as proof that the work is genuinely yours. Keep a photocopy of everything you submit. Section 8. Evaluation and Submission. The evaluation scheme used for IGNOU environment projects breaks down like this. Introduction, with objectives and rationale, 10 marks. Review of the literature, 10 marks. Methodology, 10 marks. Results and discussion, 30 marks. Conclusions, 10 marks. And Viva-Voce, 30 marks. Read that last line again. The report carries 70 marks and the Viva-Voce carries 30, the same weight as your entire results chapter. Students who outsource a report and then cannot explain it lose that block completely. Confirm the exact scheme applied to MEVP-033 in the guidelines issued for your own program. Before you upload, run this checklist. Approval in hand and a report that matches the approved proposal. Certificate signed, both the originality certificate and your supervisor's. Evaluation fee paid along with your term-end examination form, not separately. The complete report exported as a single unlocked PDF, and proof saved. Screenshot the confirmation and keep the acknowledgement email. Submission today runs through the official online project submission portal. You log in with your enrollment number and your program code, upload one PDF, and submit. The project evaluation fee depends on the credit weight of the project, and MEVP-033 sits in the higher bracket above 4 credits. Verify the current amount before you pay. 3 rules get reports rejected outright. First, do not email your report. Emailed reports are not considered for evaluation. Second, do not upload a synopsis or an assignment to the project portal. Third, do not upload an incomplete file, because incomplete submissions can be removed after the deadline and you lose the whole session. And never wait for the last day. Section 9. The Viva-Voce, and what happens afterwards? Rehearse these 8 questions. Why this problem and why this place? What exactly is the climate change link in your study? State your objectives without reading them out. How did you select your sample and why that size? Which tool collected your data and how did you pre-test it? What was your most unexpected finding? What are your limitations? And what would you do differently with another year? If you are declared unsuccessful, the pattern in IGNOU environment programs is that you redo the cycle from the proposal stage, usually with a new topic, within the normal submission slots. There are no special slots for failed students, and a resubmission fee applies. That is a full session lost, so it is far cheaper to get the proposal right. And carry a copy of your report to the Viva. Section 10. Is MEVP-033 and M.Sc itself worth it? M.Sc is a regular IGNOU postgraduate degree, offered by SOITS in open and distance learning mode. IGNOU is a central university, and its recognized distance programs are treated as valid degrees. Always confirm the current recognition status of your specific program on ignou.ac.in before you make a career or a higher study decision on it. So where does a finished MEVP-033 lead? Climate and sustainability roles, meaning reporting, assessment, and program support work in the sector. Policy and governance roles that need people who can read data and legislation together. And research or further study, because a supervised defended study is real evidence when you apply for an MPhil or a PhD. Does it fit alongside a job? It can, because the program is open and distance learning and annual in mode. But MEVP-033 is the part that needs planning, Because the fieldwork weeks in the Viva are not flexible. Working learners who succeed choose a study area near where they already live or work, and they start the proposal early enough that the approval wait does not eat their session. Quick answers. How many credits is MEVP-033? 8 credits listed under Year 2 of the official M.Sc course structure and the joint heaviest course in the program? Is MEVP-033 the same as MEVL-032? No. MEVL-032 is the Climate Change Lab course. MEVP-033 is your own supervised research project. Both are 8 credits, and both are compulsory. Can I do MEVP-033 in my first year? No. Year 1 is entirely theory. The project sits in Year 2, which is also why the PGDCCC exit route does not include it. Do I need a science degree for this project? No. MSCCC admits graduates of any discipline, and survey, interview, policy, and secondary data studies are all acceptable. Do I need approval before collecting data? Yes. Write the synopsis, get it signed, submit the package with the supervisor biodata, and wait for the written decision. And where do I submit the final report? Through the official online project submission portal as a single PDF with the project evaluation fee paid on your examination form. So here is MEVP-033 in one screen. 8 credits, Year 2 only. Supervisor mandatory, biodata mandatory, approval before data, report plus Viva, and verify everything on ignou.ac.in. Get the proposal right, and the rest of MEVP-033 is simply steady work. The full written IGNOU MSCCC Project Guide, including the synopsis walkthrough, is on IGNOUproject.com. For MEVP-033 project or synopsis guidance, message us on WhatsApp at +91 93546 37830. I am BK Sani, and I have been guiding IGNOU students since 2010. Subscribe to Shri Chakradhar Education for the rest of the IGNOU project series, and always verify current rules on ignou.ac.in.